can see myself in the viewfinder. I'm gonna focus y'all like I'm a real YouTuber, but we are coming back, and I'm not saying this with just like the one video. There are videos that are scheduled. I have come back in full force doing the YouTube things. I have this channel where I'm just gonna throw up this is, you know, Sarah's spaghetti for whatever it is worth. Hopefully, my intentions are always good. I'm a hot mess just rolled up with good intentions, all right? So my intentions is always good, just to spread positivity, growth, you know, wonderful feedback, challenges, all those sort of things, right? Just the wholesome, straight and narrow. Where have I been? Well, that is a very good question. And it's one that I don't want to get into all the nitty gritty, because what's the point? I want to be here showing, you know, how to take lemons into lemonade, because I think we all benefit from shared experiences. You know, we're all part of the human race, right? Like, we all are here on this journey and here on this earth with these experiences, and so maybe our cookie crumbles a little different. Like, maybe I like to sew a little more than others, and others like to maybe go for marathons more than me, like whatever. But alas, as long as it's in that realm of the wholesome, straight and narrow, we are all overall on the same journey, right? So the last couple years were definitely had its ups and downs for me, and like I said, I don't want to get into all the nitty gritty. It's not productive, a good use of, you know, it's not a good use of time, it's not necessary, it's all the things. But I do want to expose lemonade, because we're all here together. And may my lemonade stop you from having those lemons. So I guess the cookie really, like, the highlighter for me was the COVID pandemic. Okay, fast forward, I am single. I am not at all looking to mingle or anything like that. Not that I would say no, but I am not like, I don't say that to be like, hey, comment down below. No, that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that I am no longer married. I had gotten married in 2012. And seemed like everything was going okay-ish, right? You know, I kept telling myself to continue to be a supportive wife, and that marriage isn't easy, all the things that I had heard, right? Well, it was sort of like mixing a tornado with a volcano. It's a brilliant line. He has many brilliant lines, doesn't he? And it was this perfect storm of somebody like me who, I have my faults, and one of them was that I can beat a dead horse, and I have recognized that in myself, and it's something that I have been working on. I definitely can make a commitment to a large project or to a large endeavor, to challenges. I can make a commitment, and for better or for worse, it's not always pretty, but I can get it to the finish line, right? Well, when you mix that sort of type, along with some health elements that I had, with another bird of a feather, it's just a recipe for disaster. So first and foremost, I was not in the position of getting married. That was on me, but also I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know that the fultic acid that we spray here in the United States on our gluten supply, I didn't know that it was wrecking my body, my thyroid, and a whole other cascading of effects. I have a mutation on my MTHR gene, and because of that, I can't convert the fultic into the fultate. So basically, my body gets stocked up on this synthetic fultic, the IC, and it's going, where's the 8? We have all of this stuff that we don't recognize, and where's the fultate? ATE. So theoretically, I don't have celiac disease, so theoretically I could go over to Europe where they don't poison themselves. That's a whole nother thing, right? We're not going to get there. But that's one reason that I was not in the position of getting married. I wasn't really in the position of making good life decisions, even everyday decisions. Like, that has a massive effect on your body. I was on it also even by 2012 when I got married. I had been sleep deprived since the good like 2005s or so, 2006s, when I, you know, nosedived into my studies, and then I had my ballet studies and my academic studies, and I was like 2, 3, 4 hours of sleep, and it was hustle culture, and it was like grind, and then I went to college, and it was grind more, hustle culture and all the things. So between not knowing that my body was not happy with the gluten, not the gluten, but the fultic acid that's been sprayed on the gluten. We can just say gluten as it's easier, right? As well as being chronically sleep deprived for years. And then I was on hormonal birth control, and there have been many studies coming out lately Guys, ladies, everybody, listen up, because even if you're not taking it, you don't want to be engaged into a woman who's taking it. You don't want your sister to be engaged into, you don't want to be making large life decisions, particularly marriage, when you're on hormone or birth control. If you get lucky, kudos to you. But it's making a lot of women, like, if you don't get lucky, what's happening is it's changing the chemistry in your brain to basically down-regulate the amount of masculinity that you would have accepted. So basically, a nice way of saying that is that, I'm trying to say it as nicely as I can, you end up committing to a guy who's less masculine than you would have. It's nothing to say anything against him. It's not to say that he, it's nothing to say anything bad. It's just less masculine than you would have. And I think my body was trying to tell me that all along. I remember early stages of dating my former husband. I remember there's voice, there's this nagging voice. And it was like, just ask him. You've seen the Oprah shows, you've seen them, just ask him. And I did. I rolled over and I said, look, are you gay? He was like, no, I'm not gay. No, whatever. But I think that was, and I'm not saying that all gay men are feminine or anything like that, but of course, for me, I don't want to date a gay guy, right? Like, that's not a bad thing to say. And I'm not saying that all gay men are feminine or anything like that. For me, I like somebody who is ultra masculine, who's secure in his masculinity. He doesn't have the ego, doesn't have the thing, but yeah, I like him tall, broad shoulders, all the things, like all the stuff. Like the taller the better, the broader the shoulders, the better. Any rate, and there's more to a guy than his looks, but alas, you've got to be attracted to who you're with. Like, that's a very special relationship. That's a very unique relationship, as opposed to just a friendship where looks may not matter as much, because a friendship you're not attracted on that level. Like, you can see somebody just for their spirit in a friendship, whereas if you're in a romantic, like, you're romantic for them. If you're not hot and heavy, like, there's no faking that. Anywho, so I just wasn't in the place. I didn't know what I didn't know. But yeah, I had a role to play, but I also didn't know what I didn't know. When I started learning these things, I started cleaning them up. Oh, I also drank a lot. So talk about cleaning things up. I drank a lot, and once I learned on Huberman that any amount of alcohol is bad, I nipped all of it out, even the vanilla extract. I'll use it here and there to bake for my kiddos, but I'm like, okay, it's baking, it's evaporating off, but I won't touch it, because I'm like, the last time I touched alcohol, I married an asshole. I'm not doing that again. Like, I'm taking responsibility. I also really, really mind my health. So, you know what? After getting off of hormone birth control, alcohol, minding my sleep, I just looked and I was like, we never should have been together. And that's not tooting my own horn, and that's not putting him down. That's just saying we are birds of a different feather. And that's okay. I am not everyone's cup of tea. I am not perfect. I imagine to live with me, you would have to be on the same path as me, or else I would drive you crazy. Because I'm one of those, the sink is going to be spotless before we go to bed. It's going to be the floor is going to see a vacuum at least once a day. Ideally a mop once a day. Like, I am one of those. So I'm not a walk in the park by any means. We were just different birds of a feather, and we never should have been together. And now we aren't. So that's a wonderful thing. It's been glory, 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 all the things. And it's oddly enough, so you go through this whole process. Nobody tells you about it when you're getting married. No one says, hey, this is what you're signing yourself up for. If you want to get out of this, it's not unilateral, and this is all the things and this whole process. And sure, you can get married in like a day or two, but man, honey, it takes a long time to get out of this. Nobody says that. But so this whole process that it takes a long time and all sorts of stuff, and I'm doing things as by the book as I know how to do them. So then we finally get to this point where I file for the divorce, and the papers have been submitted to the court, and so I'm calling the court, and I'm like, hey, are we ready for a court date? And they say, yeah, yes, we are. And I said, okay, ma'am, what is the court date? And she said, April 28th. And I said, all right, I hear you go. Not that I needed the confirmation, but there is more confirmation that I didn't need. April 28th is the date that we got married. And I thought, that is very interesting. So, out of the cage of legal marriage, I will not ever sign papers for legal marriage ever again. I do not see the point. I think that's one of the lemons that I'm putting to lemonade. Of course, if you want to commit to somebody, if you want to commit your entire being and your soul and all things, if you want to use the titles and the rings and have a day of celebration and take the photos and all that sort of stuff, fine, go for it. But why introduce legal marriage into it? I don't get it. And I remember thinking that back in middle school and early high school and stuff. And then sleep, hormonal birth control. Early college, I started drinking, and it was like, whoo, let's get married, let's have babies. Like, well, I was thinking stuff that I never wanted to get married. I never wanted to have children. Now, I love my children, and I love the deck of cards that I currently have in my hand of life, but they aren't the cards I would have dealt for myself. But yes, I am enjoying the heck out of my children. This is a golden chapter. I absolutely adore them. I adore being around them. I adore their conversations and getting to show them the world and just support who they already are. That is what I think my job is as a guiding force for them. It's not to mold them into somebody else. It is just to provide this very, very nurturing soil so that they can grow to what they already are. You know what I mean? I'm not supposed to limit them. All of those sort of things. So it's just been, I love my day to day. I pinch myself all the time that I'm at this place, and it was not an overnight process to get here. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, but alas, she was built. I pinch myself every day that I get to enjoy the simple life while still throwing spaghetti against the wall at my bigger dreams. One of the wonderful things also that's come out of this is I reconciled with my folks. We had a falling out right when Henry was born, and we hadn't talked for 7 years. They had reached out to me, and I had been not realizing that my truth wasn't the truth. What I was being told and fed and all the things wasn't actually what had happened. And so, again, Rome wasn't built in a day, but alas, she was built. You know, and also time is a healer. They have changed. I have changed. I believe we've all changed for the better. And it's also this thing when you're growing up. Of course, there's all bits of childhood that I think we all work through, right? We all work through some traumas of childhood just because life has its bumps and the roads. And when you hit a bump in the road as a child, you're more likely to see it as traumatic since you don't have all the tools and wisdom that adults at least should have, right? That's part of the maturing process, is you have tools and stuff to cope with the life's bumps in the roads. So I think it's easier to have traumas as a child. Well, all that to say is that we've all grown for the better. Time has been a great healer. And I'm an adult. My parents are no longer superheroes, right? When you're a kid, your parents can't do any wrong, and so when they do, you get really confused. And when you're an adult, you're able to say, you know what? They were a kid too, and they have their own traumas. And not that I'm happy that they had their traumas, but they're people, right? And so being able to relate and being able to understand, and it's been very freeing. And I treasure my relationships with them, and I am so, so sorry. So sorry for all the pain that I had a role to play in. I didn't know. I just didn't know what I didn't know. But you know what? I'm better now than ever. You know, we aren't late. We just are where we should be. And like I said, time played a good role in that. I learned a lot in those years. I grew a ton, and I really just came back to myself. The healthier I got, sorry, hold on. The healthier I got, I mean, my brain could actually work. I could actually piece the truth together. I've always questioned things. But when you question things with a broken brain, you don't get to the truth. Your brain just can't arrive there. So the healthier I got, the more I was able to uncover the truth for what it was. I really have always objectively looked at myself and rinse and repeat, reiterate as needed, right? I've always tried to get better and better and better. Like I said, I'm still not a walk in the park. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. I recognize that for most folks, I live life on the extreme. Now, there are many folks that would look at me and go, honey child, there's way more you can do with yourself. Like, I'm not saying I'm all that in a bag of chips. There's way more I have to learn. But on the spectrum, I lean a little more towards the extreme side of things. And that's okay. We each get to decide where we want to land and how strict we want to be with life and what our values are and all that sort of stuff. We all get to do that. And there's no judgment. There's no judgment on it, you know? Like, there's no judgment for me on others. What I wish, though, is that the complete truth is out there. Because I really believe if you make your bed, you need to lay in it. However, there's a big caveat to that. You should know what you're laying yourself into, right? You should know the truth about it. So if you decide to make it, well, you at least knew what you're coming yourself into. If I had known that alcohol was going to poison my brain, if I had known sleep deprivation was going to just destroy me, if I had known hormonal birth control was going to change my brain chemistry, I wouldn't have made that bed, you know? So COVID was a massive highlighter for the imbalances in the relationship that had been there since the get-go. I gave a lot of tangible, a lot of steps forward, a lot of what I felt was a lot of steps forward, a lot of good support, a lot of chances. And after a few years, you know, the shit hit the fan. I was done. And it was not an easy choice because I really can make a commitment, you know. And it was like, am I beating a dead horse? Am I giving up on a commitment? When I was torn with myself quite a bit. And once I made the decision that this marriage was not for me, it was so freeing. That's not to say that there weren't hard days. It wasn't to say that I wasn't ambitiously pursuing a divorce. I thought I'd tell people, I'm ambitiously pursuing a divorce because, well, I had 2 pennies to rub together. We were still roommates because I didn't move out because I had 2 pennies and we owned that house outright. And so why am I going to move and get rent and do all the things if I own this house outright? We hadn't been sleeping together for years anyways. I'll have my own room and you'll have your room. And, you know, we split up assets with a post-nup since we were still living together. We couldn't get the file for the divorce, so we split the assets with the post-nup. And I said, yeah, I know I've initiated this. And so I went out and got the lawyer, paid for her all on my own. Like, I didn't ask anything of legal fees. Of course, he was had the agency to get a lawyer if he wished, you know, but it wasn't required. But I paid for all of that because I know that I was the one who initiated it. But really, we never should have been together. And that's not to say that I'm better than him. That's not to say we're just different, and that's okay. But it's not for a marriage, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like I said, I looked at him and I wasn't physically attracted to him. I wasn't attracted to his spirit. I wasn't attracted to anything. Not to say he's a bad person, but I wasn't attracted to anything. None of it was my cup of tea. So, nowadays, I enjoy the simple life while throwing spaghetti against the wall. We are going to be throwing some spaghetti against this YouTube's wall.